Now this is kind of temporary path, right? How do you make this as a permanent path? What you can do is that go to environment setting, look at that, edit environment variable, click on the environment variable, go to system variable and try to create a variable called Python path, like I did here, Python path precisely. So edit, what you can do, you can paste it here. So now what happened? Now this particular path becomes a system path. That's what you would have seen in the print statement. This active presenter testing, path testing, BB. These are something that I have made as a system path when I was about to show the demo for the rest of the people. Now what I'm doing, I'm adding this as well. So now next time when you restart the system, even this will become a Python path. For that you need a system restart. You cannot simply use by adding this. Okay. And if you don't find this kind of variable, system variable like Python path, you can click on new, type like this, Python path. You can set a path and you can keep the variable here for your better understanding. Okay, so that's how it works. This is the way to add a path permanently. Okay, right. Now, what happened is that you have one file which is acting as a reference file and you are using it. So basically a package and you're trying to import it. Well and good. What happens if the reference file itself act as a standalone script? There the problem arises. Look at that. So I'm trying to open this one. Let me open the first file. Right. Now, if I do so, print my data, my functions. So if I run this standalone, not an idle issue, not a big issue. Okay. But if I run this in a import, what might happen? The code will execute twice because when I use this line call from Python file 1, what it does? It does all the executable process in your reference file. If your reference file contains a calling and also print statement, of course it will execute. So to avoid this conflict, what conflict? Where you want your reference file or the package that you have needs to be run as a standalone script also. For that, you need to have this syntax. If double underscore name, you know that this is one attribute that is available in Python to indicate the current file is equal to main. Basically, the main is the output that you usually get when you try to run the current folder only. Okay. So what I'm doing is that I'm keeping this print and the function call within this specific syntax. So what does it mean? This print and this function will be called only when this current file runs on its own. That means when a standalone script runs. If somebody has the reference of this particular file, this content, the content that I have at line number 10 and 11 will not take a part. So first I'll show you the standalone running. It runs. It runs without any trouble. Absolutely fine. Now when I try to run here, again this is working fine, right? It is not having the involvement over here. If you have a doubt, you can check this one out. Only during the standalone script. If this file is referenced by other things, that checking another part or other thing will not take any role here. They will not take any role here. This is what we call it as important packages, right? This is something that you need to learn as a basic, developer. But as you go deeper into things, there are concepts like relative path, direct path, lot of things, right? There are a lot of things that is available in market which you can make a use of it. Okay, but being a rookie, being a fresher, these are things that you need to understand by base. What is double underscore name? Why I should go for that? What are the different ways of referencing a file and what are the different paths that I can have as a reference by base? What if I want to add certain path temporarily? And what if when I want to add certain path permanently? What is PyCatch? When does it, produces? And adding to all these points, one thing which is going to stay as a common is that your file name. So that's what I keep telling people, that when you store any Python file, you need to be put little more caution on the file name, because I see people that they use pandas as a library inside the folder inside the Python, and at the same time they keep the pandas as the name itself. So what might happen? Unfortunately, it might end up in the trouble that we are facing here. Unwanted. You will get something like circular import error. When circular import means your file name is also the library name. In this case, only the circular import happens. Okay. So that's what always put focus on this file name, and this is the very evidence of how the file name is going to play a huge role here. Okay. So that's what we have discussed. So there are a lot of things that available as part of this important package, but we'll see as the time goes on and as the days comes back. Okay, this is what important package is all about, guys.